All right, Habib.
Yeah.
Habib, how do we meet each other?
Oh,
It's been a kind of a crazy. We've only met like what 3 months ago.
I know. We met in physically. We met in July. We met on July 25th or 26th. Whenever
Uh-huh,
you had
uh-huh.
that IWIN meeting by the airport. But I met you much longer than that. You just
Oh, okay.
didn't know it. I used to, well, not physically. I
Uh-huh,
used to listen to. Well, I still do. I listen to your podcast every time I'm in the car.
uh-huh.
By the way, you owe me a lot of data because I spent so much data listening to your podcast. But yeah, I listened to so much of your podcast, and then one day you mentioned that you were meeting on July 25th or 26th, and I
Mhm,
could register on your website to be a guest. So I did. I went online, I Googled you, and you had so many websites. I signed up on all of them, and I messaged you on WhatsApp as well. And I showed up to the meeting, and you had Omar
mhm,
as the guest, and that was it for me. I sat there. You had Omar make his presentation, and you had Adriano show up. And
mhm.
when I heard his story, I was like, if this guy can do it and he's an electrician, what's stopping me from doing it? So yeah, that's how we met. When I came to that meeting, that's when I saw you.
And before that, you were already a real estate investor, were you not?
That's right. So already I own four properties right now. I own two townhouses. I'm kind of all over. I have a townhouse in Bowmanville, one in Aurelia. I have a detached in Scarborough and a condo downtown Toronto, uh, Jarvis and Dundas. So yeah, I'm not big time like anybody in your group. You guys have crazy amount of stuff going on. I hear people owning buildings and like 100 doors, and it's way
Yeah.
over my head. I don't know how that happens, but one day,
That's not
hopefully.
that's not that's not everyone, but yeah, we've been very blessed that we've attracted a uh, a very serious crowd. And I was talking to someone about that. It's always been hard for me to explain about what iWin's about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but first of all, is that we're a closed membership group. Like anyone can join, but the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, because we are a membership group, people come regularly. They're not transient. They don't just come and go like other groups do,
Mm-hmm.
and also we've attracted a much more senior crowd. Not in age, because for
Mm-hmm.
like Brady and Christy McDonald, for example, aren't that old, but they're approaching 100 properties.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even think they're 40 yet. They're approaching 100 properties. But we just attracted that crowd, and a lot of people don't even share what they have. It's actually funny because I often find the quietest people usually have the most, and yeah. So we you don't even know what the quiet people have.
That's incredible. And you guys got lucky. You got in much earlier. Nowadays, everything's expensive everywhere. You know,
What was your first property
my
of
very
your
first
properties? Which was the
property,
first?
um, my very first I have sold as of right now. I
Okay.
bought a townhouse in Scarborough when I was 18 years old. I bought one for $190,000. It was nice, 3 bedroom, but the condo management committee was mismanaging funds, so maintenance fees were going through the roof. The heating was baseboard heaters, so hydro was quite expensive, and I went through my fair share of bad tenants. I had people on welfare that were getting checks straight from the government, and at first the checks were coming to me direct. Then they intercepted the checks and they started holding my money hostage, and it was just giving me too much headache. So I sold it. But if I had kept it, do you know how much it goes for right now, Erwin? Selling
Hang
for
on,
four
hang on.
hundred and eighty thousand dollars
How
now.
much?
480 right now.
What year did you buy it?
I bought it in 2009, 2009.
Oh, good
Yeah,
time to buy.
I know. I had no idea. I should have kept it. My mom was my co-signer,
Uh-huh.
and she's always asking, so how's that property doing? How's that property doing? So I was like, you know what, let me just sell it, just get everybody off my back. But I wish I didn't, because if I didn't, I would have so much cash right now that I can pump into my trading account. It's okay.
What year did you sell it?
I sold it in 2013.
Oh
2013.
man,
I
what'd you sell it
know.
for?
You don't want to know. I sold it for like 220.
Oh snap!
I know, man. I should have held it a few more years. And at that point, I had a very good tenant. I had a guy that was a manager for Staples, and very good guy. Till today, we're still in touch. He told me, Habib, you're making a mistake selling this place. Let us stay here longer. We're good tenants. We're okay with the high hydro. We're okay with the environment.
Hmm.
I was like, no, my mom wants to sell it. Blah blah blah. So yeah, we sold it. And it is what it is.
You should have been an Iwin member. I would have told you not
I
to sell.
know, I know, I know.
Man.
Should have been.
I get that question a lot. I just had someone ask me the other day, or maybe it was today, should I sell something? And my general rule of thumb is, if you have something better to do with the money, then yeah, go ahead.
Mm,
Or because I believe um, the game of Monopoly is won by owning property, not by selling property.
that's very true.
And also just the way the economy is going, with immigration, interest rates, nothing's being built. You know, it's I don't really see, like, even 2013. I've only sold 2 properties in the last 8 years. I think I've only
Wow.
sold 2 of my own, and it was because it wasn't performing as a rental.
Hmm.
That was the only reason I ever sold and I've owned a lot of property over the last 10 years.
You know what I like, Erwin? I like the fact that you buy properties for your children because you're
Mm.
preparing for the future, right?
Hmm.
It's a great concept. I learned that from you, and the moment I have some cash to put in that direction, I'll definitely do that. Because I have a set of twins, and I had a meeting with a RESP planner, and she was saying that in 18 years, when these kids are ready for university would be like 70 something thousand dollars. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
wow, it's crazy.
Each kid.
Yeah, each, yeah. And you can't save that money. You can't save up that kind of cash. You can, but if you buy a house with appreciation, then definitely do it.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
They're a year and a month.
Oh
So
wow, very young.
yeah, very.
And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 28. I just turned. No, sorry, I'm 29 now. I was 28. I'm 20. I turned 29 September 28th, so just like a couple of weeks ago.
Happy
So,
birthday. Happy
yeah,
belated birthday.
thank you. Yeah.
What are the some? So how come your properties are all over the place?
Um. So basically, I was buying a bunch of new constructions,
Uh-huh.
and it's just back then. Whenever somebody says, "Hey, I got this really nice builder that I bought from, and he's building here, and this is it," I
Uh-huh.
just go and I'm like, "Okay, what's the down payment?"
Yeah,
And I was just like, "All right, here you go." But in hindsight, if I had known better, I would have bought. I would say I would have bought 3 in Bowmanville,
yeah.
and I would have got 2 more at Dundas because my young and Dundas property, when I was buying it,
Uh-huh.
studios were going for 199. Now it's going for $435,000 a studio. 199. The agent was begging. She was saying, Habib, just grab a studio because I bought a One Plus Den from her. She's like,
Right.
just grab a studio. It's 199. The payment terms were very reasonable, but I was like, no, I don't know. I want to be prepared. So
Right.
yeah, they're all over the place. Just I don't know. If I was an Iowan member, I would have been in Hamilton. I would have been heavy in Hamilton for sure.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been
Yeah,
pretty good for a while. Sorry, just to go back to your townhouse in Scarborough. What were you renting it out for?
$1,400.
Oh, that was cash flowing.
No, so you see, Erwin, I
Oh,
didn't
because the
even.
condo fee,
Yeah,
right?
condo fee, exactly. The condo fee was like $600, $700 back then. I that was 2009. Now imagine today how much it'd be, right? So until today, I still get people calling me asking if I have it for rent because I guess I put up some ads back then, and when you put up an ad, some other websites pick it up to try to like remarket your ads. So people are still calling me if I have that available. I said no,
Hmm.
I don't have it. I no longer have it. But
Pedro's calling you. He's saying you're still a little puppy. Good for you for having so many properties.
uh,
So the studio. You
Yeah,
said that that's Young and Dundas.
yeah. So I didn't buy a studio. I bought a One Plus Den.
One. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
What
I
did that
bought it.
cost you?
That cost me 305.
305. And what'd you
305.
rent it for?
I got a locker.
Plus the locker. You get
Yeah,
parking?
I no, I didn't get parking. The agent was like, "Oh, don't get parking. What's the difference between your unit and that unit?" So actually, I bought that condo. It hasn't closed yet. So I guess it's called a contract, right? So it closes in April. It's
Uh-huh.
uh, it's the Maple Gardens. It's by Steve Guptar. It used to be a
Okay.
Marriott hotel, I think, and then he turned it into a condo. So he built it. He demolished it,
Oh,
and now
demolish it.
yeah, now he's building a condo on it. So it should be ready April. I got it a while ago. I got it in 2013, 2014.
And it's
So
still not built? Sorry?
yeah, because they ran it as a hotel for 2 more years
Oh,
before they demolished it and started the.
interesting.
It's almost ready. I went down there like a week and a half ago.
What's it
So
worth now?
I last I've seen, because per square footage now in Toronto, I forget the last figure I heard, but my unit is going for around 580, 600, something like that. Something like that.
So you made a pretty good bunch of money.
Yeah. So you know what I'm doing is what I'm waiting to get on that advanced course that Omar is planning on running. I don't know what the holdup is. I'm still waiting for the date.
You have like a 2 month head start over everyone else.
Yeah.
That's what the
So
holdup is because you're ahead of the curve.
yeah. So once I go through the advanced course and I learn some key nuggets, then I think what I'm gonna do is pull some equity out of the three properties that I have and then
Uh-huh.
increase my trading account
Uh-huh.
because the more you have in your trading account, the more you get trades you can actually do. I started with $10,000, just like everybody
Uh-huh.
did. But
Uh-huh.
once I hit two or three trades, I was maxed out, right? I couldn't do much. And
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
like,
very maxed out.
yeah, exactly. And the worst that can happen, Erwin, is that you end up owning the stock
Yeah.
and you collect dividend until you can sell it again.
Right.
So can't can't go wrong. I mean, if Enbridge goes to zero, like Omar
Hmm.
said, it's the end of the world. It's the least of your worries, right? So,
Yeah, it's least your worries.
yeah. I don't
So,
trade much Enbridge right now. I'm trading like I'm trading like TDs and Microsoft. So,
okay, so let's start from the beginning from trading. What kind of financial background do you have? Did you take anything in school? What do you do for a living, Habib? I don't even know that.
yeah. So what I do for a living, I own a event rental business. So we basically,
What?
I know, we provide.
I run events.
Yeah, exactly. So you're holding your event actually at a venue that doesn't allow outside contractors because they
Oh,
have exclusive agreements with very, very expensive suppliers.
okay,
So
okay.
we don't do much in the building, but our main focus is outdoor festivals, corporate events, private events, and weddings. So we
Hmm.
provide anything from furniture, staging, lighting, barbecue equipment and things like that. So I've been doing that since I was last year of high school. So it's about 9 years now we've been doing that.
Wow.
So yeah,
What's it
so
called? Let's give your company a shout out. What's it called?
yeah, so it's called All Cargo's Tent and Event Rentals. Our website is allcargos.com. We're located in Scarborough, but we go all over the place. It's been good so far. We have a key number of guys working for us, and
Hmm.
we're very busy in the summer. It's a bit quieter in the winter because, as you know, a lot of people hibernate in the
Hmm.
winter.
Hmm.
So that's why I want to pick up this whole trading thing because then I can spend the winter doing that.
Hmm.
And I travel a lot during the winter. Like I'm going to China in 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Then I'm going to Nigeria for about a month and a half
Hmm.
after that.
Hmm.
And yeah.
Are you traveling for work?
Yeah, so China's for work. There's a trade show that I attend every year. It's
Okay.
called the Canton Fair.
Hmm.
A lot of suppliers come out and display a lot of new things, and you meet existing suppliers, new suppliers, and things like that.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, let's talk about this trading thing. So, what's your background? Like you're doing. So the reason I invited you on is because you're the first student from the Stock Hacker Academy to pull 5 figures.
Yeah.
So you obviously have some sort of training. Are you ex Bay Street or something?
Are you serious? No way. I'm
Did,
not ex anything.
so
I
can you share what you've done in just 2 months? So we
Yeah,
met.
yeah,
We only met. You only got the idea late July.
exactly. So I didn't actually start trading until mid-August, because what happened was I met you, Omar, Matthew, and I didn't speak with Adriano that day because he left early.
Yeah, to leave. Yeah.
I met all of you guys end of July, and I read the book. It took me about like 3 days to read that book.
Hmm.
Actually, this book here, Money for Nothing.
Hmm.
And once I finished reading the book, I called up. So I took Omar's number down during the meeting because I saw him giving his number to a lady. I forget her name. So I took a picture of the number because I didn't know if he wanted to go around giving his number to everyone. So I took a picture of it. So after I finished reading the book, I called him up and I said, no, actually I texted him. I said, hey, I met you at this place and I read the book. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go.
Hmm.
And then he was like, okay, I'm going to Quebec for a week, or I'm going to Quebec for a long weekend. Fund your account, buy the data, and then let's connect when I come back. So
Hmm.
I did just that. I opened the interactive broker account while I was reading the book because I wanted it to be ready to go. And
Hmm.
then I funded it with 10,000. And as soon as he came back, I was like, I'm ready. And
Hmm.
then he spent some time with me on the phone, and he basically walked me through like some of the trades that he's done in the past and how to actually use the app, because I was using the TWS, which is the desktop for interactive broker, which I thought that's what he was using as well. But he said, no, you got to get off the desktop, get on the app. It's much easier.
The desktop's very intimidating.
Yeah, it's very intimidating, but it's kind of cool looking. It's all like black. It's got colors and things moving around. So yeah, I started. He gave me a few pointers in terms of what he was trading and what I should start with, given my account size. And then I started with Enbridge. I started doing quite a number of Enbridges. I did two contracts of I did one contract of Enbridge, and everything went well. And then I did another one, and everything went well again. Then I did 10 contracts of Enbridge, and when I told him, he was like, "Are you out of your mind? You are gonna blow up your account if you
Yeah.
know, do something like that."
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So the very next day, I closed the position. I didn't lose money. I closed it at a profit, and then I kept funding my account. So I started with 10, then I added 10 more. Then at one point I added 20, and then I kept going and going because the more I added, the more I was able to write. So yeah, that's what I did. I didn't have any financial background necessarily. I mean, I did go to university. I studied at Ryerson University. I took some finance courses.
Hmm.
Um,
But that was a while ago, right?
that was a while ago. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
graduated in 2013. I did trade a bit. Like I did get luck. I have to admit, because this is how I came up with some of my capital. I got lucky on a biotech, a pharmaceutical company that was waiting on FDA approval,
Hmm.
and when they got it, it skyrocketed, man.
Right.
I cleared big money on that. That's how I bought a few of my properties, and that's how I
Oh,
been
okay.
able to get my account funded. Yeah.
So what's the difference between, so for the listeners' benefit, what's the difference between that investing with your biotech versus what you do now?
That's a
Because
gamble.
imagine what the other thing would have happened. What if it didn't get
Yeah,
approved?
exactly. It would have went the other way, and I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have much to get my account going, my trading going, my options trading going right now. To answer your question, the biotech, that was a gamble, man. It could have went the other way, and I would be sitting on it right now,
Hmm.
staring at it. It
Hmm.
doesn't even have options trading. So I can't even sell like covered calls. I can't do anything with it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, no, that was a gamble, but it's okay. I was young. I had time to like recoup if anything went wrong, right? So it's okay.
No, man. Rule number one. What's rule number one?
Don't lose money.
That's rule number 2.
Don't forget rule number one.
Thank you. Everyone, please write that down.
I know, I know. But
Uh,
I cannot go back to that old way of trading
mhm,
now after knowing options. Like the thing with options is I feel like this is knowledge everybody should have
mhm,
because you would be I don't want to use the word stupid because I don't want to insult anyone, but you would be stupid to go on the market right now and buy like 100 shares of Enbridge or 100 shares of Apple. Why wouldn't you sell a put
mhm,
and get it cheaper and get paid, right?
mhm,
If you need it
mhm,
immediately, you could even sell at the money, increase your chance of getting assigned,
mhm.
and you still make money. You still get it at a cheaper rate, right? So
If anyone, so for listeners' benefit, if anyone's listening and doesn't understand, please ask questions. Habib is an expert, and he'll tell you exactly
I
how
am
how
not
things work.
an expert. I honestly, Aaron, I've been doing the same thing that. So before I came to the September course, right? I
Mhm.
I was I was gambling a lot. I think I mentioned this in the group.
Wait,
So,
what? You're playing like online gambling? Like what? Online
no, no,
poker?
like I know, like I was selling puts on like super high IV stuff, like whatever I mentioned in the course, and that's because I thought Omar was holding it back from me. Like I thought maybe this is what I was gonna learn in the course because Enbridge was paying like $40, 43 cents, 80
Yeah,
cents.
that's 1%.
I know, but I'm not looking at it like that. I'm not a percent guy. I'm numbers guy. I see like, okay, a dollar is $100 on one contract, right? So that's what I was looking for. And then when I started seeing some ETFs that were paying like 110, I was like, yo, I'm not kidding you. I did some. I don't even know if I should mention some. I don't want anybody to go and go and make the mistakes I made. But as soon as I came to the course and
Mhm.
I learned the right way to do things, when
Yeah.
I came out of the course, the very next day, I closed all those positions. I only had
Mhm.
two of them open. I closed them and
Mhm.
I just stuck to the strategy. And it's been paying off for me, man. Like this is the easiest money I've made so far in my life. I run a business where I have to pay staff, I have to rent trucks, I have to, you know, it's a lot. Like I could be sitting here and somebody will call me and say somebody, crashed a truck or somebody dropped something.
Mhm. Mhm.
But trading, that doesn't happen.
Right.
You have all the freedom to do it. So
Right. So with trading, what's before you were doing trading, what did you think? What was your outlook on life, retirement?
um
Because you're doing quite well. You currently hold 4 properties.
yeah.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
So to be honest,
You're pretty rich compared to most people,
yeah.
especially at your age.
Oh, thanks. I always wanted, like, money was always something that I aspired to have. I thought by the time I was 35, I would like to be worth at least, I don't know, I think I had like 7 million yeah, I had like 7 million in mind. How I was
Mhm.
gonna do it, I didn't know exactly how I was gonna do it. I just knew that it was doable, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I think with this trading thing, I don't even need 7 million. All I need is, I'm thinking like 15, 8 to 10,000 a month is good enough for me. And I
Mhm.
think I can do it. And I know how I can do it. All I need in my trading account is around $440,000 to
Mhm.
comfortably make $8,000 a month. And
What?
that's even plain and safe. That's just plain Enbridge. With $440,000, I think I can make $8,000 a month playing safe Enbridge. Now imagine if I start doing more Microsoft and things like that. So
And then, what does this mean to your life?
in the near future, it would be more freedom for me to spend time with my kids because my kids are growing up. They're walking now, and I can spend more time at home. We can spend time back home because I'm from Nigeria and it's a lot warmer than it is here. And my wife and I always wanted to bring the kids back so they can, get used to that environment. With this trading, I could spend more time back home. I think I can retire by the age of 40, 45. I'd probably be retired.
Come on. Where's
Nothing like,
Adriano?
nothing like Derek Foster that retired at 30. What was it, 34 or something?
34. Yeah.
34. Yeah. No, I
You don't
think
think
so.
you can get there?
I,
Adriano says hello, anyways. By the
hi,
way.
Adriano.
Uh,
I need to spend more time with. I need to get in touch with Adriano. He's a cool guy.
yeah.
I'm, he's in the Paradise Traders Paradise group. By the way, it's an honor to be in that group. Thank you, Omar, for adding me to it. So,
I don't think Omar's on here.
oh man,
But what city in Nigeria?
I'm
Just
from Kano,
curious.
the north,
How do you
where the
spell that?
Boko Haram is. Kano.
Wait. Did you say what? Where's it close
Bo-
to?
Kano. We're in the north where Boko Haram, the insurgents.
Isn't that dangerous?
No, that's not. Kano is where I was born, but I live in the capital. Like I have a house actually over there as well. I bought last year,
Uh-huh.
uh, in the capital, Abuja, which is like where all the government territories are. So it's
Uh-huh.
very safe there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just the ignorant Canadian.
Yeah.
You really think it'll take you to 45 to retire? How much money do you want? How much money do you want to be making a month to retire?
Right now, I want 8,000 a month. To
Yeah.
retire, I think I would like 30,000 a month. That's
How
too
far are
much.
you away you think from making 8,000 a month?
No, not far at all. Right now, I'm making around. What am I making? I'm making like 3.5% right now. So I think I could be at 8,000 a month in about a year.
Mm-hmm.
In about a year. Yeah. And
Okay.
remember, October is a horrible month, man. Omar
It's
has
been
been,
a horrible.
and I didn't believe this guy. And I have days when like my account, like my P&L is red. And I'm like, what's going on? And then like the very next day it's all green. And then next day it's red. And then
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
all right, no.
bipolar.
Yeah, exactly. This thing's not gonna drive me crazy. So I stopped looking at it now. It's just
Yeah, I look at it. I look at the PNL, my daily PNL as well. But
yeah,
it doesn't bother me that much because as long as time passes, we're good. Especially
exactly.
with the just I don't mean to tease folks, but like with the advanced strategies that we're not allowed to discuss,
Yeah.
life's been good.
Yeah, no, life's been good for sure. And I feel like there's more out there. There's more advanced strategies that we're just not we don't know yet. That's
Right.
why.
You're early though, and also you've been and just to share about Habib, from what I've noticed is Habib has gone full send. That's what the young people call it. Like how long have you spent studying this?
Well, since
Since
July,
July, yeah.
no, I read something almost every day, man. Like I got this book too, the Get Rich with Options. I took the cover off, the Lee
Hmm.
Lee Low book.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about a lot of strategies. I don't want to get complicated and start making mistakes, so I
Hmm.
just I just read it. I'm kind of jealous. He was writing puts on Microsoft at like $20. Can
I
you?
know. I emailed him about it.
That's incredible. But yeah, no, I read a lot. I even bought like your book, the one you suggested, the 10x rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's the cover. I bought all of Derek Fisher's book, but I find
Yeah.
that they're repeating themselves a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, this one was the money one. This one was very good. Uh, I read the news as well just to see like what's going on because there's a lot of events that create um, red days. I call them red days, like when the SPY is down. Like
Hmm.
today we had that Fed announcement,
Hmm.
so I was
Thanks for
waiting.
letting me know. I didn't know it was
Yeah,
happening.
so I wanted to see what that would do to the market. So I kind of I'm keeping a lot of buying power handy for days to come because who knows, we could have, it could go down, and if
Hmm.
it goes down, it's perfect. I'm not gonna panic. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna buy more puts because premiums are gonna be super juicy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or sell more puts, right?
yeah, I'm gonna sell more puts, but I don't sell puts on everything. I keep I have like seven,
Hmm.
sorry, about 10 of them that I just keep an eye on. I'm trying to be like Matthew. Matthew stressed this in the course. Like, get so familiar with a handful of stocks that you know their moving averages, you know their trading ranges,
Hmm.
and you could just execute a trade right away when it falls in that parameter, right? So
Right.
that's what I've been doing. I have days when I don't trade. Like on Monday, I didn't do anything.
Hmm.
Right? I just sat there. So.
Yeah, and that's I think when everyone. Oh, and how much time do you spend a day?
Okay, so I don't spend 15 minutes a day. I don't spend
Hmm.
30. I spend about an hour and a half,
Hmm.
sometimes more, to be honest, because
Right.
I put in a trade and I'm just looking to see, how's it going? How are we doing? What can I close today, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
And I asked that because I want people to know, like, Habib's about a month ahead of me. I'm pretty similar. I spend more time looking at it than I should. But I've been good. I've been good disciplined some days. If I'm really too busy some days, I honestly barely touch it. I'll make a trade. I honestly made a trade as I was walking to the bathroom one time.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I made my trade, swiped right, collected my $28 US, put it away because I was going to the bathroom. I had to put it away.
How do you feel when you swipe right and then like it's the stock is still going down, so premiums are getting higher, and you're
Yeah,
like, but I just collected this, but now it's more. So that's why
yeah,
I don't do like two contracts, three contracts anymore. I do like
yeah,
one, right? And then
yeah.
I'll see what happens. If it keeps going, I'll do one. Because I'm at a point where I can do like three at a time, right? So I'm not doing one at a time anymore. I'm doing like three, depending on what it is, right? So
Right.
I have to
Habib,
make. Go ahead.
someone's asking how much capital do you need in your account to generate 10K in 2 months? So to preface the question, Habib's been trading 2 months,
Yeah.
right?
Too much.
Uh, and then to again to preface the answer, markets are different all the
Yeah.
time. There will be bad times. We've been very insulated with what we've been doing, but some people don't do well. Some two people do very well. Um, so it's hard to say how much it takes for someone to make 10K. But we
Yeah.
from people we've asked and polled. So again, we've polled investors who use the similar strategy, what they're doing, and they're doing between 15 to 40% returns. So then you can just do the math. Everyone can do the math yourselves as to how much you need per month. And also, we all have different risk tolerances.
Hmm.
Uh, Whoever has the higher risk tolerance usually gets more money. But in general, I can't imagine this being a more low risk strategy. Like, Habib, how do you explain it to people? How many people have you told about this?
So I've told. I think I told,
Everybody?
yeah, not everybody, because some people they just have this natural instinct that stock trading is just dangerous, right?
Uh-huh,
And,
uh-huh.
and especially options, it's even more dangerous. But
Hmm.
I told a number of my close friends. I even gave my wife the book to read,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna get her started with a small account so she can trade the likes of Enbridge. But yeah, you're right. You're dead on with the risk tolerance. And the good thing about options is you can select your risk tolerance. You can just go further out of the money, assume less risk. It's
Hmm.
before October, I was doing close to the money. I was doing like two strikes at the money,
Hmm.
2 strikes away from the money. Now, this crazy month, I go further out. I'm like four, maybe five strikes out.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
making less, but it's, safer. It's not
Hmm.
bad. Yeah. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
Uh, what does your wife think about this?
Well, she she doesn't have my undivided attention until after 4 p.m. because even when I'm not staring at my IB app, I'm on BNN or CNBC, like just reading what's going on. So, and I'm also on the trading on the paper trading account because I still practice. Like there's some stocks that I'm not very familiar with that I want to learn what they're doing, so I trade them in my paper account, and I'm up like 9% in my paper account because I'm doing like 7, 8 contracts. It's fake money, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, no, my wife. At first, she didn't understand what all the craziness was about, but once I gave her the book and she read the first two chapters, she was like, She was like, "Wow,
Mm.
can I do this?" I was like, "Yeah, you can do it. Do you have $10,000?" She said, "No, but I have some money." So yeah, she's gonna do it. She likes it. My friend, I brought a friend of mine to the course,
Mm.
but he took the basic. He didn't take
Mm-hmm.
the advanced, the premium,
Right. Right.
and he's been trading too. He started with $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing okay,
Mm-hmm.
but he's very he doesn't like a lot of risk. So
Mm-hmm.
lately, he's just been on the sideline. I think he's got one contract with Enbridge, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just sitting there. But
Okay. Yeah, and that's fine. Like everyone has their own tolerances.
that's right.
You know, I think people were laughing at me when I wrote a naked put on Bank of America. And I wrote it 9% out of the money.
Wow.
Hey, you know, we have Rosario's saying there will definitely be a crash coming, right? And that's why I read something that's there's uh, Rosario's commenting there will definitely be a crash coming. Many indications of it. Uh, yeah, there's likely going to be something coming.
Yeah.
If Trump has his way, we're going to have QE3. So I don't know when that crash is coming. I don't know if anyone can actually. No, well, we all know nobody can call it because no one's ever right. But yeah,
That's right.
there'll definitely be a correction coming. But again, with the strategy begins with you can only trade on something you want to own.
Exactly.
Right. And
And you're
it's no
trading
different in real estate.
Yeah.
Like rent to own, flipping, whatever real estate strategy my clients want to do on a property, it's still the same discussion. You have to be prepared to own this for 10 years. And that's why we only trade for people who aren't familiar with what the strategy is. We take blue chip stocks to start with, and then we only look at the ones that are dividend paying, and then we'd only take the cream of the crop.
Hmm.
Right. So a lot of companies, it's funny because I've shared a little bit on social media what I'm doing, and people will say, "Oh, it's gonna fall apart. It's gonna fall apart," and I'm like, okay, explain. And some will say, "Oh, no one saw Sears, which it was like 5% of the GDP or something like that would go under." And so I googled it. Did Warren Buffett ever own Sears? And then I found an article from like 2004 where he said Sears was going to fall apart.
There you
So
go. Yeah.
I copied it and shared it on Facebook, and they didn't comment again. And then I had someone else said, "Oh, Nortel paid a dividend." So then, okay. I'm open minded. I don't know all the answers, so I go Google. I go ask Google. Google, did Warren Buffett ever own Nortel? I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
Right. So those are things that I look for, and that's one of my criteria. Does Warren Buffett own it?
And you know what puts me at ease is the fact that, we were blessed to have people like Matthew, Omar, Adriano, Sean, Mark, all those guys that have been doing this
Hmm.
and they keep doing it, right?
Hmm.
So if it's worked for them, why shouldn't it work for me, right? So I know the future is unknown, nobody knows, but at the end of the day, if you're trading blue chips like Microsoft, Disney, Apple,
Hmm.
the worst case, it falls, you end up owning it. I own
Yeah.
TD. I got assigned 200 shares of TD last week, Friday.
Hmm. And how did you feel? Did you lose
I
any sleep over it?
No, not at all. I was prepared for it.
It's
I
TD
was,
Bank though. Like
yeah,
it could crash or something.
can't crash. Have you been downtown Toronto? They own like buildings everywhere. That can't crash. And I'm getting paid a dividend today. Actually, was the ex-dividend day. So after today, I can sell it, and I'll still collect the dividend at the end of the month. So
How much was the dividend?
78 cents or 76 cents a share. So
Uh,
it's not,
let- oh, is that the annual? Sorry, is that the annual number?
no, that's
Yeah, pay that quarterly.
quarterly. Yeah,
Oh damn.
yeah,
So Danielle Connolly's asking the name of the book. Joel actually has posted the where
yeah.
to find it in the comments. So Danielle, I hope Danielle was actually, I believe, was at the course. Hopefully, Danielle, if you want to comment how your trading's going, maybe we can give some stock tips. It's hilarious. I was having lunch with a friend who said that he was laughing about stock tips and how he just got slaughtered on a recent one. It was a it was a weed stock tip, and anyone's just followed the market, it hasn't gone well. So, people say like this is risky, this is risky. Understand that Habib and I know people personally who've gotten their butts handed to them in
Yeah.
Bitcoin and crypto and weed. So we never touch that stuff. Warren Buffett would never touch that stuff. We try to do the most boring investing possible.
I think if more people attend the basic course, they would save so much money, because just the technical analysis we learned in the course,
Mhm.
you can't do a technical analysis on Aurora cannabis or any weed stock, because they don't have that track record for you to see what they've been doing in the past, right? So you
Right,
can't, and most of them don't even pay dividends. It's not an established industry yet. Who knows
right,
what they're doing, right? So
right.
it's
My
honestly,
friend.
all you need is 5 stocks and master, and that's it. You're good.
Mhm. My friend Brian Zamet, who was in the courses with us as well, he told me something on the weekend that I thought was brilliant. He was saying how like there's been history of stuff not being accurate in terms of things can be faked, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about weed. I believe it was Can Trust they that they overreported the revenues because they were growing more than they were allowed to,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been suspended. They had their license suspended for it. So basically, their revenues were overstated, so it was not real, right? And that's kind of been historically kind of true for many companies like WorldCom, Brex. A lot of things can be faked. A lot of things can be faked by companies, but what can't be faked? Dividends, especially a track record of like 20, 40, 80, 100 years of paying consistent dividends and
Exactly.
increasing dividends. You can't fake that. You can't fake paying out money unless it's just like a 100-year-old Ponzi scheme.
Even in '08, '09, Enbridge was increasing their dividend.
Yeah,
How can you go wrong with that?
yeah,
We all have Enbridge bills come to our house every day or every
right,
month.
right.
So
Hey, what are you gonna buy? Are you gonna buy, do you have you have your eye on anything that you're gonna buy in terms of like spend your earnings?
no, I'm gonna buy a house. I'm gonna buy a house in through the Iwin group, because I kind of put that purchase on hold to do this trading. Remember, I was
Hmm.
prepared to buy one, but then Omar came along with his fancy car, and so I was like, all right, let me try this first, and then I'll do it. But yeah,
Right.
no, I'm gonna buy a house. Like I said, your strategy rings home to me. I want to buy 2 properties in the near future, one for each of my kids. And once I
Hmm.
get that out of the way, then I know that like they're set, and like whatever else is all mine.
Right. Right.
So
Oh, we were talking that before we were recording. We were recording, I believe, and so the house I bought my son
yeah,
is the one that I'm selling to fund my trading
uh,
account.
there we go. So you're still investing one way or another, right?
Yeah, yeah, and just to explain to the listener, like we're not just bipolar here. We're not just choosing one track for investing. I'm no different. I'm very overweight real estate. I'm very overweight real estate.
Mhm.
I honestly own one stock, and it's not in my Interactive Broker account. It's in my RSP somewhere. So I have no diversity whatsoever. So it's okay for me to trade one house for my stock option portfolio, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I'm not encouraging anyone to do this. We're not experts. Yeah, disclaimer time. We're not
Yeah,
we're not endorsing Enbridge. This is just what
yeah,
we're
not
doing.
at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Oh, I have
I
Enbridge too.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned diversity, the diversifying. Even my trading, I diversified as much as I can. Like
Hmm.
I've been getting really lucky with LMT, Lockheed Martin, the defense contractor in the U.S. It's
Yeah.
it's expensive. I don't know if it's not for everybody for sure. It's expensive, but I've studied it before I started trading it. It trades within a nice predictable range. It follows its 50-day and 200-day moving averages very well. It's in a nice uptrend. Again, not a recommendation. I'm just saying this is what I've been doing,
Yeah, it's a nice
and
uptrend.
it pays very well. Yeah, it pays very well. I go a few strikes out of the money, and I collect a good amount of premium from it. So on days when shit hits the fan, somebody like when that oil attack happened in Saudi Arabia. it shot up, you know,
Of
and
course.
I cleaned out. I made a killing on that. So who knows where the world's heading? So I'm kind of trying to hedge my positions everywhere I can. So
Man, I wish I knew this sort of stuff when I was younger. Like when George W. Bush won his first
yeah,
presidency, I would have, man,
I
we would have
know.
just traded the heck out of it, wouldn't we?
Uh,
Yeah, just wish we hindsight.
and you know how Americans are with their defense muscle. They always spend so much money towards missiles and whatnot. So why not?
Yeah, yeah, why not? No, we're just joking, folks. We're not saying really why not.
Yeah, no, we don't want anybody to, get bombed or anything. But, you know, I don't even think they're using those weaponaries they're spending money on. It's the flex muscle, right? So,
Mhm, mhm. So good for you. You're actually going to spend this money on. Wait, hang on. What if you're making 8K? So you're just going to put that all back in your account and turn it into real estate.
yeah, so I'm going to put it into real estate and then I'm going to keep growing my trading
Yeah.
account. The moment I get to a point where I'm making, I don't know, I've never made this kind of money this easily before, Erwin. So I can't, I haven't really sat down and processed what I'm gonna do. But when that time comes, I'm definitely gonna. I'm not much for living large and showing, but definitely something's gonna change. Maybe I'll get another car or a better car. I always wanted a Range Rover, the Sport, but maybe I'll end up getting that. Who knows? I mean,
Can you just hang on to that purchase until you can buy it with cash?
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna buy it cash outright. Maybe next time Omar and Matt will invite us to Portugal or wherever next they're going. You know, because they seem to be living life. We want to live life too.
All right. So one of the option traders that we know is that he's actually trying to buy a Tesla by trading Tesla.
Yeah. Oh, is that M? Mark?
Yeah, it's Mark.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mark
This
is
isn't a
amazing, man.
recommendation, folks. This isn't a recommendation at all.
There's so many great guys in that group, and there's a lot of temptation. You see somebody post a trade, and you're like,
Yeah.
should I copy this trade? But no, but I keep myself disciplined thinking I don't know the true reason they're making that trade, right? So I
Mhm.
can't go ahead and copy it.
Right.
So I just keep myself in my own lane.
Good.
Just
Discipline.
yeah, just knowing that people are making trades gives me reassurance that okay, I'm not the only one. So
Excellent. Excellent. Ali Omar is asking how to get the course. So we'll announce the next course on November 9th at the Wealth Hacker Conference. If anyone's interested in learning more about this, we have a promotion going on for if you use the promo code STOCK when you purchase your ticket, then we'll send you an exclusive video that was presented by Omar, Matthew, and Adriano to my private iWin group, and that's the exact same presentation that Habib is referring to that he saw in
yeah,
July.
is
So if
Adriano on? Is he on this?
he's been commenting, Paisan, you
Oh
still on?
yeah, he's there. I see it. Yeah, no, Adriano was the nail in the coffin for me. He was the one that, when I heard his story, like being
Mm-hmm.
an electrician, can you imagine? I mean, I no disrespect at all, but to have no financial background and then being able to do this, he said in the presentation he made over $100,000 in the first year, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when my ears were like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm interested. Let's do it." You
Mm-hmm.
know?
You weren't the only one. Half the members signed
Yeah,
up as well.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I forget the lady that I sat right next to. She had the form and she just whipped out her credit card and she was filling it out. And I was like, "Yo, let's do this." Boom. And yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's well you see the progress of everybody else. Like you were obviously ahead. You
yeah,
funded earlier. You got practice earlier. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, after the advanced course, um, we don't know when it's going to be, so let's not discuss it. Yeah. Where do you think you're going to be in 5 years?
5 years. I know. I think in 5 years I will spend just the summers in Canada and the winters I'll spend it back home. That's my ultimate goal. And in 5 years, for sure, I'll be making $40,000 a month from trading. Because just keep in mind, in the next year or so, I can pull out equity from a lot of like all of my properties. And if I
Mhm.
put that in my trading account, I will
Mhm.
have a substantial amount that I can
Mhm.
trade with, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think once that happens, I will 5 years. I'll probably be making more than $40,000 a month. Because I
Right.
remember at the point when I had like $70,000 in my account, and
Mhm.
Omar called and he's like, "Hey, how much money you make today?" I was like, "Let me check." And then he's like, "How does that change your life? How do you feel about that? Is this the easiest amount of money you've made in your life or what?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I told him, "Yeah, I funded my account with 70 grand now." He's like, "With 70 grand, I can make like $7,000 a month." So I was thinking, how's that possible? And then I think Omar is more like, he's way
Yeah.
more advanced than I am, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's if you see the trades he's doing, he's selling like close to the money in some cases
Mhm.
because he's got a big account, right? So I
Mhm.
wasn't doing that. So
Mhm.
5 years, Erwin, for sure I think I'll be making like 40 grand a month.
Imagine if you started 5 years ago.
I don't know. That's a lot of responsibilities, man. Have you ever made so much money that you feel guilty like being around other people? You're like, holy shit, am I like, is this a secret? Like, is this fair? You know what I mean?
It's not that different with all your real estate. You
Yeah.
got to be worth a lot more than people your age.
Yeah, you know the problem with people, some people like especially in my circle, we want that short-term gain, right?
Mhm.
Like you want to put in
Mm.
10,000 into something and have it become like
Oh man.
15,000 like next week, you know what I mean? So, and even with this trading, you need some money. Like 10,000 is a good start, but you need more to see more results, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it takes commitment. People have to want to do it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I tell my friends all the time what I'm doing, but how many of them are gonna jump in and get going, right? So
Yeah. That's the funny thing. It's always been like that. As much logic as this makes between
yeah.
stock options and buying real estate, it's all yeah. Yeah, Habib, Sean Rowe's on. Sean
Hey,
Rowe.
Sean. Sean is an amazing guy, man.
I need Sean on the show. I just don't have a tie-in with Sean for real estate because he doesn't have any real estate. So I don't know how we're supposed to talk about real estate. We can talk about Australian real estate, maybe.
Yeah, no, Sean knows so much, man. Like in that group, I wait for him to post. Whenever he posts something, I'm like on it. I'm reading like, what
Yeah,
does he say? What's going on?
yeah.
Because
I missed the
he,
whole Fed part. My
yeah,
bad, Sean. Yeah, Habib goals. I want to be making money like Habib first. I need to get my
I mean,
funding up to Habib levels, and then I can try to replicate Habib type numbers. Yeah, but no, it's weird. I posted a video. Oh, actually, I don't think I have a video of Adriano saying that, but it was I have a video of Adriano having a similar epiphany. Just the look on his face when he was saying, "I don't know what I would do if I was making $30,000 a month."
yeah.
But that's the crazy thing is that it's probably a reality within 5 years.
Exactly. And Omar said this once during the course. I think it was after the course. We were talking in the hallway. You don't want to be in a position where you're making so much money and the people in your circle are not on that level, right? 'Cause
Hmm.
then what do you do when you all of a sudden want to just fly out somewhere? They
Yeah,
can't necessarily afford that luxury to come with you, right? So
yeah.
definitely I want to get as many people on this as possible so
Hmm.
we can all, because like I said earlier too, like we're not competing with each other when we trade options.
Yeah,
We can sell as much Enbridge, as much TD as we all want.
yeah. We're
And
we're we're nothing. We're
yeah,
nothing to the market.
you see the volume on some of these things, thousands,
Yeah, especially the American stuff. There's so much
yeah,
volume,
exactly, so much volume.
and there's no spread. Right?
Yeah,
It's nice.
so there's room for everyone. Let's And I like what you guys are doing, man. Let the world know about this, man.
Yeah,
And uh, you guys are changing people's lives. You changed my life for sure. All I did was listen to your podcast and look where I am today. If I didn't listen to your podcast, there's no way I would have known about Omar, Matthew, Sean, Adriano,
Adriano.
all these
Yeah.
guys. You know, how would I have come across this? Probably I would have read it in a book somewhere, but I would think it's not for me. Or it's not something I'm capable of doing, right?
Right. Because that was me. That was me 2 years ago. I read the
Yeah.
book 2 years ago and did nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the concern with when we're trying to change the world, we still need to be able to execute and convince people that they can do this and change their lives. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge we face every day, and that'll be the challenge we face on November 9th as we try to convince people like this works. And
Yeah.
that
I bought my
and when
ticket. I'm excited.
I
Well,
I
back
thought you'd
there,
buy
right?
VIP, man.
Man, not yet, not yet. I'm trying to reinvest my funds right now. I was gonna ask what everybody's buying because I know you guys wanted us all there, but I don't know what everybody's buying. Or
Yeah.
what seats people are buying. But I don't know. Maybe I'll upgrade, Erwin. Let's see what the market does in the next couple of days.
With advanced strategies,
Yeah.
it's as long as the market goes sideways, as long as time passes, we're good, unless something catastrophic happens.
There you go,
But then
man.
we're like, yeah,
We make money three ways, man. It goes up, it goes sideways, or it goes down, but not below your strike price. What more can you want? You know what I mean? Way better than buying a stock. It's either up or down.
mhm,
Crazy.
totally crazy. Damn it, there's something I wanted to ask you. Oh, right. I was talking to Omar about it today because of all the plans that we have for Stock Hacker Academy
Yeah.
and theta trading. If it all happened, this all started when Omar sat with me at lunch. We happened to be at the same restaurant in April, and he as Omar goes, you should trade. Everyone, you should trade. And I'm like, yeah, I don't understand it. And then he told me about Adriano, how he
Yeah.
was able to make 100 grand in his first 12 months. I was like, okay, this sounds like it's for real. And then
Yeah.
my words to him then and there were, we have to share this with the world.
See?
Right. And then you are one of the people we've shared with and who's made the effort. And that's what I've been telling people as well. When people have been telling me like when I ask people all the time, all the other students in the Stock Hacker Academy, I ask them like, how's your trading going? How's your trading going? How's your trading going? And kudos to you is it's obvious who's working at it and who's putting in the time. And that's why you have results ahead of everyone else. You had a head start, but
Yeah.
still, again, so you rightfully should be in the lead, and you are in the lead. So kudos to you.
Yeah. I guess I could post more in the Facebook page, like my trades. But I find that like when I post a trade, sometimes you know how they say defend your trade, right?
Mhm.
I feel like I can defend my trade all I want, but it just won't make sense to somebody, right?
That's
So
okay.
like, okay, I guess I should do more because I posted a trade once and I got a lot of questions and I wasn't sure. Like, I'm not posting the trade to convince anybody to do the same trade. I'm just saying this is what I did, right?
Yeah,
So
and just be honest. I don't understand all of it. I just
yeah,
copied Sean. Where's Sean?
exactly. And
So
sometimes you post a trade, but don't necessarily post when you exit the trade, right? So if somebody
mhm,
copies you, they don't know when to close that
mhm,
same trade, right? So
right. And they don't know what the rest of your portfolio mix is either, and
exactly,
how it fits in, right?
yeah,
Because I purposely choose expiry dates. If I have a gap in expiry dates, I'll usually trade for that. I'll usually choose an option for that expiry date.
yeah, to fill it in. You're
Right.
right. You're
And
right.
just for anyone who's listening, when we're talking about like Sean, Adriano, these Matthew, Omar, these guys are much more experienced. Specifically, Omar, Matthew, and Sean have
Yeah.
over a decade of experience. So when they do something, we pay attention. And I am willfully ignorant. I'm not suggesting what people do, but I am willfully ignorant, not understanding all of it. Habib is doing way more homework than I am.
These guys should have shared all of this with us like 4 years, 5 years ago.
Who
We
knows if
would,
we would listen though?
I know, right? But
Yeah.
one of us would have listened.
Yeah.
We would have been much ahead because the market was nice and good then too. Right?
Yeah.
We had a nice bull run. They cashed out too. So,
Right.
but if we live through this period, I think we'll be fine in the long run. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been promised tactics in the advanced course for what to do when the market falls apart. So I
all right.
cannot wait to look for that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Omar's told me, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah,
I don't understand what he's saying. So,
yeah,
I can't wait for the course as well. I'm a student in this process as well.
yeah. You know, I used to be able to reach Omar very easily before the course, but now after the course, everybody has his number, and he's coaching so many people.
Yeah,
So, we don't talk as much as I would like to,
yeah,
but we
yeah,
still talk quite often. But
yeah.
he was my guy. I used to hold his time on the phone. I used to talk with him so long,
Hmm.
ask so many questions. But now he's kind of like put me out there to go sink or swim, or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
die or swim, and then like report back
yeah, yeah,
with like, what I've done
yeah,
and mistakes I've made,
yeah,
and then he will coach me again, and
yeah.
then I will go back. And
Right.
I think that's been working out for me because that has caused me not to like use him as a crutch and
Hmm.
rely on him too
Hmm.
much.
Hmm.
You know, like he wouldn't tell me, "Hey, sell this for this price for this date."
Hmm.
He would just, he'll give me tips, and I will tell him what I'm thinking, what I'm about to do, and why I'm about to do it, and
Hmm.
he'll say, "Yeah, okay, that's good." I actually changed my return flight, just to make your event in November.
Thank
I was
you, thank you.
gonna come back on the 15th, but I changed it. So I'm excited, man. I never really followed uh, Grant Grant
Hmm.
Cardone
Hmm.
until I came across you. So I've been
Hmm.
reading up on him. I haven't started reading his book yet,
Hmm.
because I've been busy with the options book.
Hmm.
But he sounds like he's a solid guy.
Hmm.
So I'm
Yeah, he's
excited.
not. That's actually a neat way because you're learning about him through his books versus his what he promotes on his social media. So
Oh,
his social media stuff is very not stuff you would do if you had
oh,
a Canadian audience.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Oh, he has his own Gulfstream plane. Him and his wife drive matte
Oh,
black
wow,
Rolls Royces.
wow.
Very flashy.
Americans are crazy, man. They always have the upper hand. Their market is much bigger. Everything they do is 10 times bigger
Hmm. Hmm.
than we do here. I'm excited to see him at the show, at the conference.
Yep.
I mean,
And you'll be wearing a Theta Trading shirt.
I will. I made sure they got my size. I
Excellent.
like hoodies better though. You suggested hoodies. I don't know if it's a suggestion or they're actually doing it,
It's
but they
for the
say
Iwin
hoodies.
members. It's for the Iwin members.
Okay, okay. I told you I'll join Ivan. I just need some. You know, Erwin, right now, like I'm not spending any money on anything. Any large chunk of money I get, I'm putting straight
Uh-huh.
into my
Uh-huh.
trading account, because I can see it doing something. I can see it,
Uh-huh.
bringing an immediate return to me. So once
Dude,
I get tired of it, then I will start spending.
awesome. Keep you posted on the Land Rover. All right, Habib,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
well over time. Thank you so much for
No,
being generous with your time.
no problem. No problem.
And
Thank you.
yeah, and I think you're going to inspire some people, especially millennials, because it is so hard out there, right? Like you have employees.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
easy is life for them? Like the cost of living.
No, not very well. Not easy at all. Toronto's expensive.
Yeah, and I don't know when it's going to get any better. I actually don't think it's going to get better. I
I
think
don't
it's going
think
to get
it's gonna.
worse. All right, awesome. All right, thank you again, Habib. You have a good
Yeah,
night.
thank you.
Habib
Bye-bye.
Barua.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, peace.